Hello, hello everyone. How are you? So my name is Wajahat Karim, and I have come from Pakistan just to give this talk. I would love to thank amazing organizers, Zainab, um, and Google team behind this whole. And so yesterday I had this amazing day at Izmir, and it's a lovely city, wonderful city. I just love it. I just couldn't figure out that there are not much people who speak English. So I was wondering that how many of you actually can understand English, because I'll try to go as slow as fast if you wish. So is this okay? Is this fine? You getting? You understanding? Okay, thank you. So now I understand that coming on an off day in events like this, taking time out from your busy schedule, so I really appreciate it and thank you for coming. So, so before we go, okay, before we go, I would love to do a small activity. I actually put it after the slides, so this is a little bit older slide. So I know that you all must be very exhausted at this time, because this is probably the last session, and you had lunch, you had lots of sessions incoming and outgoing. So let's refreshen up a bit in 30 seconds or 1 minute, okay? So please stand up, everyone. Yeah, okay, thank you. Now the drill is that whatever I am doing, you have to do exactly like that, and whatever I am saying, you will also have to do it like that. So it's your choice that whether you want to appreciate my words or my actions, okay? So first, and close your hands, make fists, okay? Amazing. Now slowly, slowly bring it down, and stop. And now slowly, slowly bring it backwards, 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 and put it on your neck. Is it your neck? It's not neck. It's okay. It's cheeks. So now I consciously, deliberately put my hands on my cheeks. Now you can sit down, please. Okay, thank you. So I consciously put my hands on my cheeks, but I told it about neck, because this is a human nature that whatever we see, we understand that first, and whatever we hear, we understand that later. So it's like thunder. When rain is coming and thunder is happening, we see lights first and we hear sound much, much later. So this is a human psychology, and whatever Google is doing is actually working on this kind of psychology. So if we say Flutter, so Flutter, Google was working on Flutter a long before, but it did not want to make a noise about it, because thunder comes later. First comes lightning. So when Flutter, Google team thought that, okay, Flutter is going to, destroy the world or something, let's just push it and show what can it do. So that's where Flutter showed the demo, and it did not make any noise. The noise was made by community. And similar thing is about Jetpack Compose. Jetpack Compose was long before in development than action, and then when it came, it just started, revolutionizing the Android native UI, which wasn't changed in like 10 years or something. So the variant you see in this slide is actually about, I have been giving this talk since last year. I have given this talk in Germany and in San Francisco, in London, and this talk has received so much great feedback that I have continuously improved it and made it more interesting, made it more valuable and knowledgeable. So I hope that you will have good time with Jetpack Compose, and this talk will be valuable for you. So I am from Pakistan. I am Pakistan's only Android expert from Pakistan. And I have been a writer. I have written 2 books and more than 200, 300 articles are published. And almost every new article comes every week from my side. And I have been doing speaking for about 4 or 5 years. And currently I'm working at a company called as Nebula, if you haven't used Nebula. So I'm a lead Android engineer there. So that's about me. So Jetpack Compose is a modern UI toolkit which simplifies UI development. So it came from the idea of declarative UI as we see in Flutter, and enhances on that. So the team behind Flutter and Compose is from same company, so they share their learnings, and Jetpack Compose was optimized from the things which they thought that Flutter is not good in that. So Jetpack Compose is more like a modified version of Flutter, enhanced version of Flutter, targeted for native Android engineers. So, so when this came, my first thought was that I started working on Jetpack Compose on like dev preview 3 or 4. So my first thought was that everyone is making clones of different UI, like how to create WhatsApp UI, how to create Netflix UI or something. So my first imagination was, can I make a game in Jetpack Compose at this time? I have been a game developer previously, so I really liked the game room and all the fantastic games. So that was my first thought about Jetpack Compose, and I came up with this, the Chrome game you saw here about dinosaurs. So this is completely written in Jetpack Compose, and from the there was not much documentation, there was not much content around the internet, so I had to ping Google people a lot to understand how Jetpack Compose works and read the Android source code to figure it out apart, and I finally managed it. It was very good. So that's where this idea came that Jetpack Compose provides a very good enhancing ability in creating animations, which XML lacks a lot. XML is very complicated if we want to create an animation. So this talk is going to cover some of the animation APIs we see in Jetpack Compose. So these are the 5 which I have picked up due to timing settings. So first one is animated content size. So this is very easy and most simplified version of the animation. So if we often see in social media applications that we have some bunch of text content, and there is button read more, and it just expands. So this is like content size. So first content was this one, and then it increased or decreased. So this is the animate content size is a modifier which actually applies to that case. So for example, let's take a case. So we have short text and we have long text, and then we are creating a simple text composable and changing the text based on the click. So now all I have to do is this, animate content size. That's it. Now, if I don't do this, then it will just snap it up and will not do animation. If I add this line, this modifier, animate content size, and it will make it smooth and animated. And not only that, I can actually customize this. So this was the previous one, and now I can customize it, how much duration it should be, what kind of easing it should have, and this will also give me an end listener. So this is all I can do with animate content size. Now, if we are wondering that how can we expand the text, or how we can make the image from landscape to portrait, any kind of content changes, we can do with this very easily. The next one is animated visibility. Now, this is very interesting because this looks like a lot simpler, but this actually provides a lot of things. The animations you see on social media, internet, and Twitter, which are created in Jetpack Compose, a lot of animations are created using only this. So this looks similar, this looks simple, but this actually is very powerful than you can expect. So for example, we have a floating button, and in that we have icon and text. So this is the normal. So now if I want to scroll the screen, I want text to be hide and only remain the icon. So that's where I will have, usually I have a row with icon and text, but this time I want to do animation. So I put text inside the animated visibility composable. This is a composable, not a modifier like animate content size. So you have to put whatever you want to do inside that, and that content will be animated. So I have put the text inside it, and I told that when it should be visible and when it should not be visible, and based on this value, it will actually animate it. So like previously, this is also customizable. So I can tell that what kind of inter animation should there be, like is it sliding in, sliding out, horizontal, vertical, and what is the initial offset. So initial offset is 300, so that means that the like text will come from the 300, as you can see in the second picture, that like text is coming from there. And I also can provide the spec, how much duration, how much easing, and customize the animation based on that. So I can also add exit transition, like in the below picture, you can see text is entering from right, but it's going down. So this is the exit transition. So you can actually customize the visibility animations based on that. And here are some examples. These are created in complete animated visibility, nothing else. So you can create this bottom animation menu very easily. All you have to do is just tell it that which element is selected, and it will show the animation, and other animations will automatically play, and it will hide. So that was second one. Now we are coming with single value animations. So basically, we have things where we want to create an animation which we don't want to track, or we don't want to keep tracking of it. For example, you are on Twitter and you press the like button. Now there's heart pops up and it goes. Now you are not interested in that animation particularly. You are thinking that, okay, this will play, and whatever happens, I just want to move on. As a developer, you don't want to pause it, or you don't want to rewind it or something. These are micro animations, so you say, okay, let's just hit it around. So this animate star as a state is the thing which will be used in those sort of animations. So let's see an example. So there are a bunch of methods: animate color, animate DP, animate bound box, animated floats, a lot of methods which allow you to customize the thing which you want to do. So let's see an example. So we have two buttons. One is changing color, and one is changing color and size. So now usually we have a button with a text. This is standard. And then we have enable state just to play the animation for the demo purpose. And now usually whatever I do, that in the button I put colors and put it there, okay, let's make it the primary color. But instead, I am here using color from animate color as state on the top here. And now I can see that this color is being changed from blue to green, and that color is being assigned here. So in a simpler sense, I am using same color for the button. Only difference is that that color is being assigned from animate color as a state. That's it. So that's the only difference which I have made, and I can actually use this same approach for width and height. So I have not put 40.dp here. I have put 40.dp, L60.dp from animate dp as a state. Now this will give me over the time animations like 40, 41, 42, 44, up to 60, and similarly for the slowdown animation. So Jetpack Compose makes animations a lot simpler and a lot interesting. This is another example of this. So we have a toggle box which changes. For example, I have used male female. So now we have a button which changes the state on the click. Now whatever I have done is that inside the image I have used preferred size, and I have took that preferred size based on the value, whether this is female or male, and I have used it in animate DP as state. Similarly, border is also done as here, 0 dp, 4 dp border, and color is done here as color as state. So you can see that whichever is selected, its border gets thick and its color becomes red. And when that is unselected, border goes down to 0 and color becomes transparent. And overall image size also decreases. So these are some other examples created entirely from this. This is a menu which you can create for your applications. I have put it around the circle, but you can put top or right or create expandable floating actions menus with that. So next is repeated animation. So now is the case where we want to actually control the animation and customize it based on our requirements. So let's see. So this is an example of heartbeat. You can create some other thing as well. So we have animatable for this. I have told it what's the initial value. So initial size is 1 and initial color is red. And now these are the anime scale and anim color. And now I have to start it as Jetpack Compose started. So launch effect is a effect which actually triggers when composable is in the UI. So it's more like on create of Jetpack Compose. And so I have put it inside that and told that whenever composable is created, just start animation. So where to animate, that's I have told it here. In the animator, so in the animator, and I have told that what is the target value, and again animation spec that how much I can customize duration, easings, and all those things. So that's how I can create animations like this. Now let's move a little bit on canvas. So canvas is an empty spacer in Jetpack Compose which calls draw behind modifier. That's it. So you can do whatever you want to do in the on draw. So let's see. So these are some bunch of basic methods like draw rectangle, draw lines, draw shapes, and all that. And then you can create your own methods like draw my shape, and that will be an extension method of draw scope, and otherwise you cannot call it inside the draw scope. So if I want to create this, then I have a canvas. Now I have a canvas and I want to draw anything just like a painter do. So we have draw circle. I say okay, 300 radius circle, 200 radius green circle, 100 radius blue circle, and this is what I have got. Now I can customize it with movement. So animations are more like, okay, I have an animatable, and I have started as the composable is created, and I am telling that where should it animate. So I am saying it should go to 500 and it should be run infinitely. Now I am on canvas, and inside that I have just generic draw rectangle. The only difference is that I have not used draw directly. I have used it through with transform. So transform is like it will help me, move the canvas around. So translate is like translate. So now this rectangle will not be drawn on one position. Rather, it will be continuously moving from 0 to 500 and then come back. So this is a trick which I have used to create these. So it's all about mathematics, that how you want to move, where you want to move, what you want to move, and then in the end, it's all about drawing. Where you want to draw, what you want to draw, what shape is it, what function it is. So this is how you can create games or more dynamic animations, or you want to create calendars or something. If you want to modify some button and have a sparkle effect, so you put composable button and then call is draw behind modifier. It will give you a canvas, and you just want to do whatever you want in that canvas, just like I have done with a simple demo. So this is how much powerful composable is. So finally, this is the toughest animation API in Jetpack Compose, but it is the most powerful one, and it is most customizable one, and it allows you to have more wider use cases than the previous APIs. So transitions. We have a simple example that when we click plus, it just expands into the full screen and allows us to do more stuff. So let's create that animation. We have a scaffold, which have general top bar and body and floating button. Inside that, we have floating button, and I have, instead of using the Compose original floating button, I have used exploding fab button. This is my own composable. Now we will go to and see that what is written. So this is the exploding fab button from the previous slide. Now, first thing is that I am telling that which states I have. So I have two states, normal and exploded. So I use it through a normal state in the Compose. And then I have this transition. So transitions are created using update transition and infinite transition methods. So infinite transitions are which are run completely infinite and continuously, and update transitions are the transitions which we can actually control when to start, when to end, when to pause, and everything. So we have button, we want to click it, so that's why we have used update transition. So I have passed this one, fab size state here, and I have passed initial state, which is normal. So this transition, fab transition, it's a normal state. Now, if I want to play it, then first I have to define that what transition will do. So I am saying that fab transition dot animate float. I have other methods, animate DP, animate border, animate color, those sort of things. And I'm saying that when the button is normal, make the size to 80, and when the button is exploded, make the size to 5,000. Similarly, I have color. When the button is normal, make it secondary, otherwise primary. Now I have these variables, fab size and fab color. I can use these variables inside the Compose directly. So we have fab size, fab transition, and fab size and fab color button from previous slide. Now I'm actually using floating action button, and on click I'm changing the state from normal to exploded, and this is how I am using the buttons, fab size.dp. Instead of passing normal size 80, 90, I am using this one from transition. And similarly, color is also being used from transition. So this will make it like exploding, but this will not trigger it. So you can see the floating button, but animation will not be played. Animation will be played after the click. And I can actually customize it more. So for example, I have fab size, animate float. Now I can customize it more, and usually we had normal and exploded, but I can customize it like transition spec, that when normal is transitioning to exploded, what should I do? So for example, in the second case, I have used, okay, fast out, slow in, easing animation of 1 second. But in the upper animation, I have used duration. So at 0 second, button should be 80. At 200 seconds, button should be 35. At 1000, button should be 5000. So you notice that I'm first decreasing the size and then increasing the size. So this makes the bounce effect. If I go directly from 80 to 5000, it will be go like this. But if I go with bouncing, then it will go like this, then this. So, so this is how you can create fab animations. And not only that, you can actually do a lot more. This is a library which I have created, flippable, which allows you to have 2 views inside and easily create flip views. Other one is a button which was created by Ray Wendell, its slide, so it was very good tutorial. And Android Studio have this animation inspector where you can see actually the whole animation yourself. So for example, I can see that which keys are doing what and what state I can come from and play the animation, and this will show me rightly there that what kind of animation will there be. So this is a simple chart that which animation should you use when you are in the case. So for example, we have animation content. Are we animating content? If yes, obviously, is the content appearing or disappearing or just changing it? So if it's appearance, then visibility. If it's changing, then animate content size. And if it's a screen from one screen to other screen, then you have crossfade. I have not covered it here. So otherwise, right back to it, animation content changes. If it's state-based, like I want to track it, I want to keep track of it, and I want to pause it, and I want to modify it, then animate content size won't help you. Then you have to go more deeper. So if animation is finite, then we can use infinite transition. Remember infinite transition? If it's multiple choreographed, as we saw in the previous example of fab, that we had bunch of values, we wanted to keep track of it, then we can use actually update transition, just we saw. Otherwise, we have these animations and the animatable and animation state and animation star as a state for the rest of the cases. So these are some documents, some resources for you to learn and about animations more. And thank you very much.